coming into these games questions, you were talking about general questions that don't give you a clear jumping off point.
Right.
Are you typically doing the questions within a logic game in the order given?
Typically, yeah. I did just start I've tried to get in the habit of scanning the questions to figure out if there are those, they'll give you an extra piece of information, like if A is in one, but then again, like I kind of got started on the wrong foot where I did do that for so long that now even when I'm doing a time section, I'll forget. And all of a sudden I'm 2 or 3 questions in. And yeah, but I've heard that helps a lot. If you can do those questions that give you something first, you'll get more game boards and etc.
Exactly. Yeah. So I would try orientation first, then the local if questions, and then save the global must be true or could be trues for last. That way you build up your baseline of previous hypothetical scenarios that you know to be valid.
Right.
So yeah, trying to rearrange that a little bit could be useful. Now, I saw that one of the ones you sent me here, test 45, game 3, section 3, game 3 with the photographs.
Yes.
That's a great game. I love that game. It's funny because
You do? Great.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you brought it up because I love it because there have been so many other games like it that you can practice this game as well as all the others. There's test 33 game 2 with the birds in the forest. There's test 58 game 2 as well. So the volunteers, and there are many others. I can share a link with you on those if you want to check them out. Yeah. But they're virtual copies of each other where they're testing the same inferences again and again and again.
I see.
So given this, I can see perhaps what may have given you trouble. So if you look at your diagramming of the rules versus what the rules themselves say, I think we can unlock a little bit of this. So the first rule was about Wendy appears in every photograph that Selma appears in.
Right.
So what's your conditional indicator here?
So the conditional indicator would be so like how I would diagram that would be, originally I put Wendy implies, or W implies S, but now that I look at it, it might be that S implies W. Although I might be getting this wrong. I don't know.
No, I think you're right on the money. So what is that key word here? The key word in that rule that tells us sufficient versus necessary?
Every?
Good. Exactly. So what is every? Does every indicate sufficient or does it indicate necessary?
I would say that is necessary.
Well, let's reframe it. What if we put every at the beginning of this sentence? What's it going to look like?
So it'd be like every photograph that someone appears in, Wendy appears in.
So good. So every time, yeah.
So it's like, and when it comes to sufficient and necessary, I'm not super well versed in that terminology, but I follow what you're saying.
So if let's get away from sufficient, necessary, since that's like more technical language.
Right.
What if we just deal with if then?
Okay. So it'd be if S then W.
You got it. Perfect. So you solved that for yourself here. Just taking the word every and reframing it with if then, you saw that every is actually a sufficient indicator.
Right. Okay.
Indicator. So we can frame it in many, many different ways. We can say every time Selma appears, we're going to have Wendy also, or if we have Selma, then we will have Wendy, or all cases in which we have Selma, we will also have Wendy.
Right.
So they did a very nasty trick here where they give us the necessary condition first.
I see.
So even though the W should go after the arrow, they put it at the beginning of the sentence.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so they're under no obligation to present things in the order that works most nicely for us, right?
Right.
So in this game, you can see that actually the first 3 rules all do this exact same thing.
Right. So, and I even look at my diagramming, I'm like, yep, when I first did the game, I was completely backwards. So it makes sense that I was struggling.
Yeah, exactly. So I saw here that you combined the rules well, they were just backwards. So you had W arrow, S arrow, U. How would you flip it around now?
That should be U implies S implies W.
Good. So you can chain them once you know which direction the conditionality goes in, which direction the arrow is pointing.
Right. Cool.
And once you have that, it's pretty smooth.
Right.
Now, I also noticed, go ahead, please.
No, actually, you go ahead. That's good.
I was going to say that another thing to think about is how you can link together most, if not all of these rules into a bigger conditional chain.
Right.
We have here the same variables featured in multiple rules, even if they didn't give us the rules in the best order that works for us.
Right.
So where do you see some of the same variables appearing multiple times?
So we'll have like a W, an R, and a Y, W, S, and U. So because like whenever I diagrammed the game originally, I like you said, I tried to link up those rules. And I think I had like I think those are the two separate ones that I did, the W, S, and the U, and the W. Hello, W, R, and Y, W, S, and U. The W is very connected. I'm seeing that now.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we have W in the first rule and in the fourth rule.
Right.
So those two rules can link together as well. Then we have Y in, let's see, does Y appear multiple times? No, but S appears multiple times. Of course, you get that USW thing going on, but then
Right.
W leads into R and T, and then R leads into Y. So they do all relate, and of course, some are positive, some are negative, but you can actually link every single variable together into one big chain.
Oh.
And if you do that, then a lot of the inferences will become pretty apparent pretty quickly.
I see. Okay. Right. Do you want us to go through that linking right here, right now, or because I kind of see it now? I'd probably have to take some time, like a few minutes, to kind of rewrite my rules. That way, I can kind of see it and then link them up. But I totally see. Like, I follow you. I first of all, having them switched completely messed it up. But then once you do get them in the right order, or you get the sufficient necessary correctly labeled, they can all link up together.
Yeah, awesome. I want to actually give you the chance to try this out on your own now that you have the correct ordering. I'll also send you a link to a video where I walk through exactly how I link these. And so you'll see that it is possible to link them all together into one big chain. So try it out on your own first. See if you can build the diagram organically. And then later, check your results, check your diagram against my video version. And you can look at other explanations too, of course, and see what ends up working best for you there.